Unsyndicated presents What the Puck with Sean Baligian.
He's Mike. I'm Sean. Mike, this is the de facto playoff preview, even though we don't know what the playoff matchups are going to be. So let's just get that out of the way right now. We know in the East, we have a pretty good idea in the West. How is that?
Yes.
Is that the best way to say it?
Yeah, I wrote some down that what they're probably going to be.
Yes. We'll get into that in a second. You know what we have to do? We have to get into the requiem for the Red Wings as well. Here, you know what? This is a time, Mike, where I say out loud like what I'm putting on the tees for this. Requiem for the Red Wings. Say that 5 times fast. Playoff preview. Team Michigan, you and I are going to be out there this weekend. I'm looking forward to that. I also have some Brooks Rogowski stuff for you. How's that? I do.
Subby's been talking to him, so he was giving me some hints on some stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
By the way,
I'll double down on my bet. He's going in the first round. I will double down on it right now.
He had a nice season, so it shouldn't surprise anybody. But I got to ask you, did you say requiem for the Red Wings or rectum?
That could fit too.
Right. The Wings could fit all of them.
1,000%. All right, let me get your take first. You go first. I've talked about it on my show. I talked about it with Shep. I've talked about it all over the place. To say that I'm surprised, I'm not. I don't know how else to say that. And quite frankly, I don't know how anybody else could be when you look at what this team has done the last few years down the stretch, when things get tighter and quote unquote playoff hockey starts. But Mike, the floor is yours.
I don't know why I was surprised, because we say it all the time. I've said it for the last 3 years. When the times get hard, we know what this team is going to do. But Sean, just like I've kind of tricked you into this Habs lore, the Red Wings tricked me. Sean, you look at some of the stats when they were up there in first place. What'd they get, like 19 points from that time on, and everyone else got between 30 to 40 points? That's ridiculous. And all I have to say is I haven't watched NHL hockey since the Wings-Devils game. And it had nothing to do with that. It's just that there's nothing to watch right now until the playoffs start. But all I can say is that was embarrassing. And season ticket holders that I was talking to as that was going on were livid. And they were part of the booing, and they couldn't believe it. It's Sean, that game with everything that was on the line was embarrassing.
We were talking about it that afternoon. And I think you brought up the quote. It looked like a beer league hockey game, and then I added without the checking. The lack of intensity when you're fighting for your life. And granted, in fairness to them, Mike, and if we're going to have this conversation, let's be fair about it. The die was already cast. They were probably already dead anyway, okay? But with that being said, when there's still oxygen in the lungs, when there's still that chance, I guess I expect more. And credit the Devils. They played better down the stretch, blah, 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 blah. You shouldn't come out with an effort like that in any way, shape, or form.
And as I'm watching that game, I just kept looking at my wife saying, thank God the Devils are out of it, because they were awful. They were worse than a beer league team the way they were playing. That the Wings goal to go ahead, I don't think anyone touched the guy in front of the net. It was awful. And then the Red Wings matched that by doing absolutely nothing. I couldn't even believe what I was watching. It's one thing that we've talked about it. The writing was on the wall. We said we thought that was going to happen, but then to see it go down like that was embarrassing. I keep coming back to that word.
It really was. And I think I love what Todd McClellan said about, the guys complaining about the noise, the noise outside the room and everything. And I posted something the other day on social media, and I said, if you don't want to be called soft, don't play soft. If you don't want to be booed, don't play as if you want to be booed. And if you don't want to be called chokers, don't choke multiple years in a row in quote unquote playoff time. It's not that difficult. And Mike, I hate to say it, and I'm intrigued to hear. I think they're in those treacherous waters right now of purgatory, where they're not awful, they're not good, they're not ready to make any kind of significant run in any way, shape, or form. I'm sorry, they just aren't. Okay, they don't have the bodies. They don't have. You and I talked about this last week. I'm so tired of hearing about the high end talent they have. Where? Is it high end because you say it is? Is it high end because they had a good World Junior? Is it high end because they had a good year in the Swedish Elite? Where? I'm just tired of hearing those things. Mike, I think they're in purgatory right now, and that's a bad place to be.
Yeah, you hit that on the head, and I think a lot of people think these guys are high end talent because Steve Yzerman drafted them. If Steve Yzerman drafted them, he has to. He's had good drafts. He's done this. I've been reading a lot where now people have moved it from like 5 to 7 years. Now it's 7 to 10 years. We've talked about it's all about 2029. The problem with this is, Sean, that they are stuck, like you said, in this purgatory where they have to retool because they've got so many passengers on this ride that they're taking that they've got to find a way to dump some guys, bring in a whole new fresh blood. Me and you had a conversation on the way to go buy that sausage and meat sticks, and I think that's exactly the kind of stuff that's going to have to happen to shake that locker room up. A locker room that keeps complaining about the noise on the outside. I think they need to listen to the noise on the outside because it's truthful. And I'm sorry, the truth hurts.
No doubt about it.
When they call you soft and you're soft, it's going to hurt, but it is accurate.
You know, Mike, it's so funny. I always cry and moan. We have to get rid of linear thinking. Like, if this happens one year, that means the next step. That means the next step. That means the next step. It doesn't necessarily mean all that, okay? It doesn't. You hope it does, and a lot of times it does. Okay, you got your taste of the playoffs last year. Now you're ready to make that run, okay? We've seen exceptions. Both the teams go south, teams go way north, okay? This is flatlined. This is the same story. This is the same result, okay? And I will say this, all right? We've talked so much about Dylan Larkin, and for the umpteenth time, Todd's going to say I hate him, okay? I like Dylan Larkin. Props to Dylan Larkin for really turning it on down the stretch, okay? But I think he's miscast with this team in a myriad of ways, Mike. I think he's miscast as the number one. You and I have talked about that ad nauseum. And I really have to wonder aloud if it might be best for this franchise and for Dylan Larkin if maybe they looked at moving him someplace. I think that's a conversation that at least needs to take place.
Yeah, that's the conversation we had. You brought it up, and it was a great conversation starter, and it ate up the 45 minutes it took us to get to the sausage store, talking about moving and probably, like you said, best interest of both. And for those, Todd, who want to say that Sean hates Dylan Larkin, he would open arm hug him in the Habs locker room.
Oh, Mike, think about it. The second line, okay? Larkin, Demidov. I put Texier on there. Newhook, even Kirby Doc. I don't like. Could you imagine that? Like, seriously, him centering that second line with Demidov on the side? Oh, my goodness gracious. Yeah. Don't get me started. That'd be great. I don't hate the guy. It's just, you know what? You know what I hate? Can I tell you what I hate? I hate people telling me consistently that guys are something that they aren't. It's always, it drives me nuts about that team, your team, my team. It drives me nuts. There's no other way. And I think we've had a lot of that. And the next guy that people are going to accuse me of hating is ASP. Surely that's going to happen. I'm not saying the kid, it's never going to happen for the kid. Okay. This was a kid that it didn't take long in the season to figure out he didn't belong. And I know people don't like when others bring up the name of Ken Holland, Mike. Okay. But Ken Holland said it about 10 years ago, and he's right. This is a man's league. Okay. And sometimes a younger, smaller guy can come in and he can avoid that. All right. ASP couldn't. And he looked overmatched physically. And I think it went right there. I don't think it did. I know it did. You could see it. It went right there. So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Mike, there are people around here that were talking about him as potential Calder before the season started.
Yeah, I'll be one. I loved the thought of him coming in. I wanted him to come in at the end of last year. I was shocked that they sent him down to Grand Rapids. But in all fairness, if people want to start saying ASP is your next, that's just because they haven't heard us talk about Lucas Raymond yet.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right there on that list. And these Raymond's got the experience and he's up that I don't mind his game, but he's not what people are thinking he is. Mm-hmm. And he needs to show up. And that's another guy that we talk about. Maybe we need to move, and both should agree on moving with Larkin, right? Raymond might be another one. And I'm just saying this, hear me out, because he's a shell of the player that he actually is. I watched him come down the other night. I want to say everyone back, I forget which game it was, but everyone backed off on him. It was him and the goalie. He stopped skating and passed it to one of the guys that was covered. That's not Lucas Raymond. He is a good, I'm not saying elite. I don't know that yet. He is a good hockey player. He can put up some points in this league, and he is ruined right now. He is absolutely ruined.
All right, I want to get to a playoff preview. We got to talk about Team Michigan. Yes, I've actually had people, are we going to do the thing in the basement? We're probably going to do it every other day. So, Mike, again, if you want to move in, your son, shout out to Sebastiano, made that joke a few years back. Oh, why don't you just sleep over Sean's house? You know you can. You know you can. Dave said this time it's over. Our buddy Tom in London. Good evening, guys. Good evening to you. Pittsburgh and Philly will go at least 6. Buffalo takes out Boston. We're going to get to the East in just a second. They better make some big moves and make a significant point jump next year. 110 points, not just 2 points better, or it's done for the GM. That's a funny thing is, Mike, this is the high watermark for Steve Yzerman, right?
Yep.
And you're going to finish 10th in the conference. But hooray.
But that's the conversation we started last week. We just didn't really fit that. That's great and all, but guess what? All those other teams that were doing the same building that you were doing, they're all ahead of you.
Yep.
They made the playoffs.
Yep.
A lot of teams made the play. You did not make. So I don't want to hear it's my high water, or if we were in the Pacific, I don't care. You're not. You didn't get the job done, and all the damn teams around you did.
You knew, if you listen to the likes of us, you knew for 2 years you were in the toughest division in hockey. You knew for 2 years. That Ottawa was going like this, that Montreal was going like this. What we didn't know is Buffalo was going to go like that. But if you watch this show back in December, we told you. Mike, seriously, we can take a victory lap for that. Look out. It's starting to click for Buffalo. So, I'm with you. Sorry. What do you want me to say? 10th is in the conference. It's the same group of shifts from day one. They just replaced one clown and another. Breaking news, major media outlet confirms Larkin is number 2 center. It's about time. He's a breadstick on skates, ASP. Just call ASP Brendan Smith. You know you want to. I'm not going there. Raymond needs to be moved. Is it time for a 7-year rebuild? Not like Florida's going away next year too. Jason, that is such a legitimate point. Mike, that is, if you think that Florida's going anywhere, you're out of your mind. And they're going to be back with a freaking vengeance next year.
They're going to be healthy and they're going to be fresh. They just had, we'll call it 3 to 3.5. They had 3 straight runs to the cup, right? Mm-hmm. And you throw the 4th year in before that. They have been playing a lot of hockey. They're getting the rest that they needed. They're going to come back. when was the last time they came into the season healthy? Barkov's going to be back. I think that was bigger than a lot of people thought it was going to be. And him coming back, just watch out.
Yep. Mike, let's get to it because we could be here for an hour and a half the way you and I bullshit. Obviously, the one that jumps out to you, Carolina and Ottawa to start things out. This has upset written all over it. They're a different team with Allmark. They just are. And we know what Carolina does at playoff time. Mike, when I did games for them 10 years ago, they had goaltending issues. Those goaltending issues have not been fixed. This has upset. You know what? Gosh damn it! I'm going to do it. Ottawa in 6. I'm going to take Ottawa in 6.
And our friends in Vegas are telling you the same thing, Sean, because the Sens are only a plus 145 dog, whereas our Habs, who we know are moving on to the next round, are anywhere from a plus 195 to a plus 215. I can't do it, though. I've watched the Sens. I sank the Sens probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs. I thought they looked awful. The injuries were catching up to them. Now Brady Tkachuk is blind, apparently. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I can't do it. I don't think it's a sweep. I'll go like 5 or 6, but I'm taking the Canes because the Canes are going to do Canes things and beat teams that they should. It's going to be, what do the Canes do in the following rounds after that? Freddie Anderson's going to get caught up.
Are they going to go with Freddie? They can't. They got to go with Bussy, right? They got to go with him, right? They can't go with Freddie. You can't.
My thing with it is, if you go with Bussy, that's going to be a quick out to put the vet back in, right? But if you start with the vet, there's not a problem coming in with that rookie. You know,
they did the year they won the cup.
Yeah, that's how I could see it. That's how my feeling is. Who knows what Rod the Bod's going to do? But regardless, they could play anybody in that. I think they get past the Sens.
I'm still going to do it. Damn it, I am. Just Lord forgive me. I'm still going to do it. Obviously, Mike. After that, this one is intrigue. A throwback to the Adams division days. Gosh, it seemed like they played every gosh damn year. Buffalo was always so cute and always came so darn close. The roles have been reversed. Give Boston some credit. As you were talking about Ottawa, Mike, down the stretch, I thought Boston was going to throw everything away, and they found a way to get it right. This is such an intriguing series. You go first.
I'm going with the upset here. Vegas has got them at a plus 145 also. And I just think that what Buffalo did was excellent. If you guys listen to the show, you hear me a lot. These teams that have to work that hard and do that much, Sean, we see it all the time. They run out of gas at some point. Buffalo's been going. They don't have a ton of experience here. The Bruins have a little bit going into the playoffs. And I just think Swayman's going to be the difference. So this is a guy that I think should be in it for the Vezina. If you look at the numbers, and I think that's going to be the difference in the series.
All right, I'm gonna wait to talk about our Habs in just a second. Okay. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Very intriguing to me. Philly, I'll tell you what, down the stretch, especially calling up a bunch of the kids. It's not just the kids are there. It's the kid. Porter Martone has been fantastic, Mike. They're getting a lot of contributions. And all of a sudden, Mitchkov decided to wake up late in the season and kind of looks like the prospect that everybody talked about him being not that long ago.
Yeah, he did. He had a nice game there. And I love Philly's game. Again, if you watch the show, you know I love teams with piss and vinegar. I think that's the way they're going to play. But when you just sit back and you look at Pittsburgh and the love that I have for Sidney Crosby and the way he's going to lead this team, but you know what the difference is, Sean? The difference in this series is why Pittsburgh's going to move on and why Edmonton's not. Skinner.
Yep.
It just is. This is a goalie that's been to back-to-back Stanley Cups and got traded like he was a used puck bag. Get out of here. Pittsburgh all the way.
Jim just asked the $1 million question. Mike, I don't know if you saw it. I had a tweet that was retweeted 10,000 times talking about the stupidity of the playoffs. Let me try. I'm going to try to put this in basketball terms for you. Jim said, Do the Habs have the toughest opener in the conference? Well, I'll say this. In the NBA, the New York Knicks are the 3rd seed. Cleveland is the 4th seed. That's like those two teams playing in the first round. Out in the West, San Antonio is the 2 seed. Denver is the 3 seed. That's what we're going to see in the West with a first round matchup. Absolutely, positively. There's no use crying over it. Like you knew what the routine was. I wish they'd change it. There's no use crying over it. Was it Ray? Ray said, "How do you feel, Dobish against Vasilevsky?" Vasilevsky's the best goalie in the game. All right, but Mike, maybe Ray was eavesdropping on our conversation last night. The heater that Dobish was on for about a month was incredible. The last few games, as they've played him more and more as the season has gone on, he hasn't been the same guy. There's no doubt about that. Look, if you're saying that, it's advantage Vasilevsky over pretty much anybody in the league. I don't think the series will come down to that, Mike. And you know me, I know you're waiting for me to say Tampa wins the series. I know you are, okay? Montreal's going to win the series, and I'm going to tell you why Montreal's going to win the series. You and I watched those 2 games down the stretch. I watched a Montreal team frustrate the shit out of Tampa Bay. They didn't know what to do with their speed. And in particular, 48 frustrated the shit out of Tampa Bay, okay? So much so that there's no doubt in my mind, John Cooper said to Corey Perry, go out there and make that little bastard's life miserable. And Mike, here is what you have to do, because Corey Perry's going to do that, okay? You don't respond by going after Corey Perry. You don't, okay? You send Brendan Gallagher, who absolutely positively should be in this series, by the way. I know that they've kind of benched him down the stretch. This is a Gallagher series. You send Brendan Gallagher after Cooch. Why retaliate? I'm not. Why would I go after Corey Perry? Okay, you guys want to do that? You want to go after one of our best players? I want you to know, Cooch, you better keep your head on a swivel. Because if Galley's out there, he's going after you. Okay? If Gooley's out there, he's going to get you. You know, 1,000%. That's keep playing your game. Don't get mucked down. Just know, no. We're not going to get into all the battles with you. We're going after your star. There's no two-way. Mike, I've never understood that in my life. Okay? If they're going after Lane Hudson, all right? Well, why would I go after the guy that's going after Lane Hudson? Why would I do that? You know what? I'm going right at their. I'm going at their guy, and I'm going right at Cooch. And Mike, if I didn't watch those games down the stretch, and I know it's regular season, blah 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 blah. If I didn't watch those games down the stretch and watch with my own 2 eyes Tampa get frustrated, I would take Tampa, but I'm saying Habs in 6.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I would say is Habs in 6. If it gets to 7, it's going to be trouble in Tampa. Yeah, and you go after Cooch. Eventually, Cooch will go Cooch. But the problem I have with this series is just going to be what you started off with, is Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky is the only goalie in the playoffs right now that I'd be worried about. Mm-hmm. There's no other goalie here that scares me, not named Stuart Skinner. Skinner is just, come on, this guy's a unicorn. He's going to the cup every year. My deal with this is Habs in 6. The winner of this series wins the cup. It's the bottom line, because eventually we're going to get to those picks, and that is exact. And if Tampa Bay wins because of Vasi, they are going all the way, because this is going to be. I'm telling everyone out there, don't flip back and forth. You sit here and you watch. This is going to be the series of the first round, possibly of the entire playoffs. The way these two teams are going to want to play the game, this is exactly what we want to see. Boom.
Coach Hunter, how you feeling, by the way? Hopefully you can come over when the barbecues start, pal. Who knew in so-called Hockeytown the playoffs have become pre-2022 Lions? You pick a team B. That's sad. It really is. It is amazing how that works itself out. Mike, let's move to the West. Somebody asked, you're asking the wrong guy. I think you know this, Ray, but I'm going to answer it anyway. Somebody asked, who would you start if you're Colorado? They are obviously going to be taking on Mike's former love, the Kings. I'm going to say Wedgwood. I've known the guy. I got to know him when he was playing for the Whalers. This shouldn't be any problem for the Avs, right? Avs in 5.
Yeah, here's the thing. The Kings have proven the last couple of years where if they play the game the right frickin' way, they can give anybody – I've said this for, 3 years straight. You don't want to play the Kings. My Kings, right? They've lost me just like Dallas has lost you, Sean. The Kings have lost me. I think they've lost their way. I don't think they can play the right way, and I think they get an absolute ass beating with Panarin never getting into his own zone.
I like your confidence, but nobody in the East is beating Colorado unless the goalie pisses down his leg. I think that's part of the thing. It's
exactly.
Goaltending's a question for them. I mean, it is. And I love Wedge. I do. I love the guy. But if we're having conversations about who their starting goalie is on the eve of the playoff, you know what I'm saying? That's what makes it so intriguing.
And there's games where they've gotten bottled up and gotten frustrated when they're trying to do too much, when their defense are all getting up in the play and they're getting caught, getting back. I mean, their power play isn't great. I mean, 5-on-5. Looking at them, do I want to play the Colorado Avalanche? Hell no. But their goalie doesn't scare me, and I think I'm the smartest coach in the world. I can game plan them.
Mike, Vegas and Utah is so intriguing to me because they're as we sit here today, they are separated by a point, and you're talking about the 2 versus the 7. This screams Utah Mammoth to me. It really does. This screams Utah Mammoth to me. I'll go Mammoth in 6.
Yeah, it screams Utah Mammoth, and that's why I'll take the Knights in 7. I like the change that they had with Torts. I think Torts is going to get this team to where we thought they were going to be in the beginning of the year before injuries caught them, and they just totally took a shit. I think he's turned this locker room around. I think the dissension that people are talking about is put at bay for right now. I think the Knights are going to come out. I think outside of Colorado, they're the most dangerous team in the West.
It is an absolute crying shame. I brought it up once. I'll bring it up again. The number 2 seed is taking on the number 3 seed in the first round. Poor Minnesota. Mike, we've talked about them for a couple years. They're a cute little team. I just don't think they're ready to get over the hump. Speaking of which, Dallas usually has their problems later in the playoff. They will have their problem later in the playoff. I think this one goes to Dallas in 6.
Okay. And I'm going to go Minnesota in 6. We've talked about this. I think their defensive core was great before Hughes. I love their top end guys, forwards. Goaltending, hey, it's going to be give or take. I don't know. This is another one. Who are they going to go with? But they got 2 guys that they can go with. I think this is their year, and my 20-1 ticket says I believe they can win it all.
Now this is where it gets a little edgy, as you know, Mike. It gets a little edgy because we don't know exactly how things are going to play themselves out with Vegas and Edmonton and Anaheim. But we are working under the assumption that it's going to be Edmonton and Anaheim since Vegas is playing Kraken tonight, and they should take care of business. Edmonton and Anaheim, this is Edmonton's time of year. You already partially stole some of my thunder, but I want to ask you anyway, is Edmonton lulling us to sleep again? They don't have a chance. Just go on some incredible run once again. I like them over Anaheim. I'll take them over Anaheim, but pull the brakes back a little bit or pull the reins back a little bit on making a run. But I do like them in this series. I'll say Edmonton in 7.
Yes, I think I love this because I think me and you are head to head on a lot of these. I've got the Ducks. I think the Oilers are going to rule the day. They got rid of Skinner. They do not have a goaltender that is going to be able to play in the playoffs. I think Quenneville can get this done. I think they're going to get out goalied. They're going to get out coached. The youth of the Ducks. This really gets back to. I was trying to look it up. That's what I was doing when you popped on and before we came on, looking it up. It was the 2016-2017 Anaheim-Edmonton series. This reminds me a lot of that. That's when Edmonton was the young Bucks coming up and Anaheim had the Grizzly guys. And what a series that is. Yeah. I'm going to go with that again. I'm going to go with the 7 7-game series, but I don't think the Vets win this. I think the Kids win this. Anaheim in 7.
All right. Ray said if you could go to one game one of this year's playoffs just for the atmosphere, will any building be louder or crazier than Buffalo? And our buddy Hubie said Buffalo as well. The answer is a definitive no. No. Mike, I don't have you. If you want to throw something else out there,
I'm agreeing. My head shaking. No. I'm agreeing. Yeah,
no.
Buffalo is going to be absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, Ray, you know this, that and obviously they're not at home game one. The atmosphere at Montreal is unbelievable, but Buffalo's going to be absolutely positively off the hook. There's no other way to say this. Jason said, I'm intrigued to hear, Mike, your thoughts, even though I pretty much know what your thoughts are. If we could take a couple minutes to talk about the playoff format. I tweeted to the NHL the other day, NHL, stop this absurdity. It looks like the 2 team in the West will be playing the 3 team in the West in the first round. In the East, the 2 teams currently tied for third will meet in the first round. Just go to 1-8 already. Mike, I wax poetically about the nights where you were watching the Patrick division and I was watching the Adams division, and we would compare notes after the game and, I was watching this or watching. I love it. I love the divisional matchups. I think it was great to building rivalries and et cetera, et cetera. But stop the absurdity. Just go to 1 versus 8 already. And a lot of people say go to 1 versus 16. I'm not against that, but that's never going to happen. Just go to 1 versus 8 already.
Yeah, I agree going to 1-8. But in my response to your tweet, if you remember, was the NHL thinks they've hit a home run here because they've got some good first round matchups. That's what they want. They want every round to have this intrigue. They don't want the first round to be a bunch of sweeps and 5-game series. So I don't know if they'll ever do that, but going just to 8 makes so much sense for everybody. It's what the fans want to see. He asked the players that are mismatched, they're all going to say that that's the way it should be.
Mike, I categorically deny that logic, and you know I do. Okay, if you're talking pre-05-06, you're right. Some of those first-round series were a gosh damn joke, okay? Like, what are we even doing type of stuff. You created an era of cost certainty. There is not a lot that separates the top from the bottom, okay? There just isn't. And that's why you see teams say all the time, yeah, you know what? I think the 7 seed might have a chance. I think this 8 might have a chance. I think that's horrible logic. Will we see a stinker every now and again? Of course. But Mike, okay, you know what? Gosh damn it. Why are we doing this? I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. Let's go down what the matchups would be just without the stupid NHL brackets right now. Okay.
Yeah, all right. Just go to your tweet.
Yeah. Well, Colorado would be playing. All right, I'm going to start in the East. Carolina would still be playing Ottawa. Okay. Buffalo would be playing Philadelphia. Are you going to tell me that's not an intriguing series? I think that's an incredibly intriguing series. Tampa would be playing Pittsburgh. Montreal would be playing Boston. Does that sound bad? Do any of those series sound bad to you? I'm not being funny.
That's good. That's good. It's good stuff.
Okay, so here's the West. Colorado would still be playing LA. Dallas would be playing Anaheim. Minnesota would be playing Edmonton. Vegas would be playing Utah. What? Am I missing something? Fuck.
And it's not it for me. You know what I'm going to say, because I say this about high school hockey too. For me, it's not about that first round matchup. It's about making sure, A, if you're going to have a Cinderella, they're going to earn it by beating the team that's ahead of them. And B, the next round, if everything goes right, you're going to have unbelievable matchups. And then that's what you want to see. This is just crap.
Whatever. All right, it's time. Are you really doing it? Are you really doing that to my soul? God, I'm telling you right now, look, I firmly believe they're going to win the cup soon. I really, truly do. For the first time, Like legitimately, I really, 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 really believe that. Okay. And I haven't really, 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 really believed that in 30 plus years. Okay. It's coming soon. I don't care if you're the biggest Leaf fan in the world. Shout out to Ray. I don't care if you're the biggest Sabre. If you can't see what they already have and what's to come yet, you're not paying attention. Okay. So with that being said, all right. Are you really, really, really taking them to win the cup?
I'm taking the winner of that series to win the cup 100%. And again, you know what my bet is. I've got Montreal and an exact on Montreal and Vegas. Okay. I've softened only on my Vegas side of it to where I've got a 20-1 on Minnesota, but we've got to make a pick here. I am going with my Montreal Vegas pick. Sean, the amount of hot wings that I'm going to buy if that happens for us is going to be unbelievable.
Listen, there's an even money chance I might say to you, you want to fly there with me, or maybe we could even do old school and we could drive. We've made that drive.
We've got to drive. We've got to drive.
This time it won't take 17 and a half hours.
No, there'll be sun outside. We'll be good.
There's a story one day. One day maybe we'll get into great detail about that story, including picking up hitchhikers.
At dirty, old, broken down gas stations.
Poor Mike. Hubie said the same thing. I think the winner of that series comes out of the East. Jim said Avs over Bolts. Sean, are you going to enter? You know, Ray, I saw that. Thank you. I'm in too many. I apologize. I'm already in a bunch. If I jumped in everyone, I apologize for that. Mike, I'm going to take Buffalo because I'm going to take Buffalo. I think they've had this incredible mojo thing going on. I hate their goaltending. Hate is a strong word. Like I said to my kids when they were growing up, I hate their goaltending. As good as the East is, all right, my concern in the Montreal-Tampa series, and we both took Montreal for what it's worth. My concern is the price you pay in that series. That's my concern in that series. And that's why I'm stopping short of saying, you know, they're going to go after Dobish. They're going to go after Lane Hudson, like I said. And when they do that, I pray to God that Gallagher or Gooley or Struble goes after Cooch. I think that's going to exact a price. I really, truly do. I'll go Buffalo and I'll go Colorado. I'm sorry, I'm being a coward. I'm taking the ones, but I'm going to do it anyway.
That's all right. And for you took Pittsburgh or Philadelphia?
I didn't tell you that, did I? I took Pittsburgh. Yeah,
you took Pittsburgh. Okay,
yeah.
So we're together. We're against each other there, together in Pittsburgh, against each other there, together with the Habs, together with the Lanch, against.
Mike, you've never been to Hull. Hubie said you guys stopped in Hull. You didn't go to Hull, did you? Were you in Hull, right over the border from Ottawa? We'll go up there sometime. It would have been better when we were younger, but we'll go up there sometime. I can't take Buffalo with Lyon. And Mike, what is that other guy's name?
Ukulele.
Hubie, I hate their goaltending. I can't stress that to you enough, but I think the way that the playoff configures itself, I think it's advantage Sabres. Let's play the Buffalo. Dallas versus Carolina, nobody will care, but Dallas will win. I'm not buying into the Dallas thing again. I've done it years running, so you're not getting me with Dallas again. I'd
be floored. That series right there would absolutely floor me.
You ever recall a playoff year where there's uncertainty in goal for so many teams? That's a great point, right? That's a great point. You're absolutely right. Just Mike, up until about a week and a half ago, I didn't have any uncertainty about Montreal. Dobish last few games, he didn't look like the same guy from the last month. There's no other way to say that. So all of a sudden on the eve of the playoff, I'm like, okay, did he just go through a heater? Is that what that was? Because it was next level. He was. If you don't believe me, go look up his numbers. His numbers were disgusting. You know,
the whole team lost focus with the 50 goals and then clinching the playoff, still playing it. I think the whole team lost focus. They're going to have to regain that. I'm going to tell you, game one's going to be is going to be a light to be shined. Like, you'll know right away in game one whether they got their shit together after a little bit of a lull.
Will there be another Edmonton Chick occurrence? And if so, what team? Do you remember? Jeez, oh, Pete. Do you remember? Jeez, oh, Pete.
Hopefully it's the Habs. I mean, honestly, Sean, is there a goalie other than Stuart Skinner that we're afraid of in this playoffs?
Vasilevsky. Those two. That's it. That's it. Right? That's it.
I mean, just the makeup of that Pittsburgh team and Skinner, it's going to be bad. I can't wait to see it.
Mike, I was looking at a couple mock drafts, and I know a vast majority of you don't care, but a guy locally who played at Catholic Central and then went to the OHL, and he's slated to go to Michigan State. I think they said he's 6'7" now.
Oh, he grew. I showed you that picture of him and Sebi.
Jeez, oh, Pete.
And he got big.
Mike, I was looking at some mock drafts, and the closer you get to the mock drafts, it's the same dynamic in the NHL as it is to the NFL. The closer you get to draft time, you start to see what teams really think. And I think in particular the last couple weeks, but he's in that area right now. If you look at some of these mock drafts, he's in that area in the 30s. I saw a couple with him in the late 20s. And it was funny. I was saying, how funny would this be, Mike, if the Habs look to add some size and they make the run that you do, that you say they do, and they pick 30th. Could you imagine taking that guy? Could you imagine how stinking funny that would be? That
would be amazing.
I don't know if you look at a lot of the mock drafts, but you're seeing his name go like this in a lot of those mock drafts. And I'm telling you right now, I still say first round, but if he doesn't go first round, he'll go early second. Teams love size like that. They're always Michael McCarron, who isn't a very good hockey player. Somebody's going to take a chance on a guy like that. I don't want to be disrespectful to him. I mean, obviously he's in the NHL, but somebody's going to take a chance on that guy earlier because of his size and the fact that he's got the skill set he does at that size.
Yeah, and I told you when it was one of the high school hockey games I was at that you weren't able to make with me. I was talking to a friend who his neighbor works in the NHL, and he's like, this guy is a first-round pick. And I said, Baligian's been saying that the entire time that he's going to be, and he guaranteed. And he was like, yeah, he's got the makeup of what someone is going to take in the first round. They're not going to take a chance, especially later. He ain't going to get to the later second round.
No.
So someone's going to take him in the late first round. I mean,
let me try to catch up on some of these as well. Brian said Montreal, Tampa, I'm looking forward to the most. Both teams are pissed at each other. That was Brian. I brought this up earlier in the show. If I didn't see with my own two eyes how Montreal frustrated the crap out of them twice in the past week, I wouldn't feel so good about it. I wouldn't. And Corey Perry's going to be Corey Perry. I don't care what anybody says. When you want a guy like Corey Perry, you do. Even at 71 years old, you want a guy like Corey Perry, okay? And the big question is, I brought it up earlier. I'm not going after Corey Perry. Why would I waste my time? Mr. Kucherov, I am going to be a pest to you the entire series. And I'd tell him, Mike, game one, I'd literally stand next to him. Hey, great season, Cooch. Man, you really lit it up, man. What'd you finish with, like 130 points? I want you to know you're not taking a breath while I'm on the ice. You're not. I'm going to tell you now, just so you're aware. I don't want you to be surprised. I'm going to be in your breath every gosh damn time that you're out on the ice. Every shift, I'm going to be out there. Set the tone early. Let them know if you want to do that crap, we're going after Cooch. And that's what makes it so intriguing to me, because you saw visibly, and if I'm overstating this, Mike, yell at me. You saw them get frustrated. It was fun to watch. It really was.
Yeah. Refresh my memory, Sean. What was the seeding last year of Washington, Montreal?
Was that 2-7 or 1-8? It may have been 1-8. It may have been 1-8.
Okay.
I can look that up.
And that Washington team was playing really good hockey. And Montreal did not get through that series, but they were the best team in that series. And they frustrated the hell out of that team. I see it being very similar. but a year seasoned, a year more grittier, and just having some good games against them at the end of the year. I just have a really good feeling about it. I mean, it doesn't always end up. Good feelings don't end up good, but Sean, I really like it.
It was 1-8. It was 1-8.
And they frustrated the hell. They were the faster team. Washington didn't know. Montreal should have won that series.
To be the man, you have to beat the man. Bolts favored until they lose. Help me out there, Jim. When one of the Bolts, it's been a few years since they were the man, right? Help me out there. No. It's never going to happen, but Oilers losing to Skinner would be spectacular. Could you imagine that? You brought that up a few months ago. Could you?
I am telling you. I am telling you that Skinner is the man. I was they traded a 2-time Stanley Cup playoff goalie for a goalie with 2 playoff wins.
Flea. Nice to see you, Flea. The Flea Cup is named after Flea. I don't know if you knew that, Mike. If Minnesota can get by the first round, they will make a run. I'd like to see Buffalo or Montreal come out of the East. As crazy as the East is, part of the thing that makes the East crazy is you could hear an argument for so many teams to come out of the East. That's the funny thing about it, you know? What would Bettman think if it was a Montreal-Edmonton final?
See, now, like, that would be unbelievable. You've got the upstart. You got the upstart Habs, and then you've got the best player in the world in McDavid. I mean,
I don't want to think about it.
But I tell you what, I could make a ton of crazy bets if Edmonton gets there with their goaltending. McDavid's going to have to set every record for points. I mean, I'm talking he's going to have to double his output that he's had over the last couple of years.
Why don't you just put Booch on the wing and get it over with, right? I just put Bouchard on the wing and just get it over with. He's just going to, you know what? We're rolling with the 4-1, okay? We're just going to roll with a 4-1.
Can you imagine the Bouch bomb from the wing?
Yeah. Jim said, I think it's better for the Habs to face the Bolts instead of later in the playoffs. I worry about them just taking a lot. I'm worried about both of those teams taking a lot out of each other. I really do. I hope you're right, Mike, and the winner of that series makes a run to the Cup. I really do. And you know me, I call out my team more than any of you do, all right? I tell you, Mike, I really think they're going to win the series. I do. I hate feeling that way. I do, but I really think they're going to win the series.
I'm sorry for doing that to you.
How much will Hedman uncertainty play into the series? It's huge. Come on, it's huge. It is. It's absolutely huge. No doubt about it. All right. Team Michigan is this. Gosh, we did it again, Mike. I'm so sorry. We've been going for 48 minutes. Team Michigan is this weekend at Novi Arena. We wanted to get a little plug out there for those guys. They've got some things going on Friday night, and then there's the scrimmages all day, and then there's games Sunday. You and I are planning to go to Sunday afternoon, right?
Yes, because they changed it up a little bit. They've got like some 3-way scrimmages or whatever on Saturday because they've added that freshman thing into it. But I'm telling you, I said this last year. I've said this every year we've been on the air, Sean. If you can get out there Sunday and watch the juniors and seniors play, I'm very interested this year for a reason, but it's usually one of the best games you're going to see of the high school year. And they don't play nice. They play like two teams that absolutely hate each other. It's been so fun to watch the last, 4 or 5 years I've gone over there. But here's the thing. We left. It wasn't Chelsea this year. Where were we? Jackson. It was Jackson this year. We left Jackson with some concerns, some physical play concerns that you have to be successful in that tournament in Minnesota. But it's something that always made that junior senior game enjoyable. And I know that the coaches and all the scouts alike were not too happy with the play and promised that the physicality would pick up. I'm very interested to see what we see on Sunday if that physicality picks up, because as you know, I've said it a million times and you've said it, it's not in your DNA. It's not in your DNA, physicality. You can't fake it and you can't part-time it. We'll know right away whether they change the mindset of that team or not. Hopefully they have, because that's what they're going to need for success.
by the way, Friday, it's sophomore, freshman practice, then junior practice, and senior practice. Then they have a 3-way scrimmage Saturday night. I think we're all going to be busy Saturday night. And then Sunday, scrimmage with the freshman and sophomore, and then a junior senior game at 12:30. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that on Sunday afternoon. There might be a noon hockey game. So, Mike, we're going to have to make decisions according to that. By the way, if you guys are interested, and I know the Red Wings are out, if you're watching this show, you're a hockey fan. Okay, so I'm not talking to you're a P1. You love the game of hockey. Okay, we are going to be, Mike, probably every other night. Again, depending on schedules. I know you have a life. I have a life. You got a golf league that's starting up soon, et cetera, et cetera. Hopefully every other night, some variation of people will be at my house. Most every night, I know you'll be there. Hubie will be there. Hunter will be there. I'm going to try to get Mac over for a night. Some other, people coming over and everything. We are going to barbecue and we are going to have viewing parties. And there's no other way to say it than I just said it. Just a bunch of dumb guys eating food, watching hockey. And so you're invited. We're going to do it right here. So we look forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be as often as we can, right? And if I'm not there in the beginning, I'll be there after golf league or whatever it is. Life gets in the way sometimes, but I'll be there as often as possible. And I would like to host one. I would like to have you. Yeah. You are always such a gracious host, and you're always doing it. I would like to bring you guys over and hang out and throw some meat on the smoker and the grill here.
There will be no sides. No, actually, Hubie, there will be sides. Thanks to our buddy Jim Friel. Shout out Friel. Friel says he's coming over. I'm going to hold him to it. But Friel's Market in Tawas, they make this double smoked bacon that's fantastic. So that'll be the side, Hubie. I'll do a bunch of bacon and that'll be your side. Okay.
Ooh, can I candy some of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me do some of that. I make a mean spicy candied bacon.
Mike, I never knew that. Yeah. I never knew. I have 2 giant bags, so I'll give you one of the bags so you can screw around with it. I have 2 giant 2-pound bags of bacon, so I'll give you one of the 2-pound bags and you do it up.
Yeah, we could do that the one time we're here, or I can. It's very easy to do it at your house too. And we always have, sides of meat sticks. The Cajun meat sticks that we get. If it wasn't an hour drive, I'm sure we would have some more of that Cajun meat stick that we just went and got in Dearborn Heights. But
well, you know what? You and I are going up to that thing coming up. What day is that? At Novi Expo Center or whatever the hell it's called. We got to go there.
Remember, we don't know what we're doing because it's Saturday.
Oh, we can drive over there for 10 minutes just to pick up a bunch of shit, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't work until 12.
Oh, those sticks are fantastic. Well, if I need to go by myself, I'll just go by myself. I don't care.
And we found out that jalapeno cheddar sausage was number 2.
That
was dynamite. We've got a definite battle.
Oh, listen, Firecracker is still the king, all right? But this jalapeno cheddar, what was it, knockwurst or whatever? It
was the knockwurst that made it.
That was good.
Look, Firecracker has been there for a long time, but as time goes on, people are catching up. That Sam's Club sausage, that knockwurst that we just had, the sausage boss, I think, took it personal listening to us, and he sausage bossed that. I'm going to get another order of his jalapeno cheddar to bring in so you guys can see, and I can see if it was just a one batch wonder or if it's the way he's making it now. But people are catching.
Ray asked a great question. Does playoff experience count more in the NHL or NBA? We hit it very early in the show, Mike. Personally, I think it's a little overrated. The whole linear thinking thing. I really do. It helps to get some. There's no doubt about that. I'll use the Habs as an example. I think what happened last year will make them the better for it. But how many times have we seen that team that just makes that foray? I think of the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Penguins, that almost dynasty the first time around, that was their first foray into the playoff. They weren't the number 1 seed. They gave Detroit everything they could handle before losing in that Stanley Cup final and then won it the next year. So, of course, would you rather have it? Of course you would. How many times have you seen a team too young and stupid just come in and just go, our goalie's on a heater? When the Habs made that crazy run in 21, I made the joke all the time. Carey Price fell one morning. He bumped his head, and he woke up and he thought it was 2014. And he was prime Carey Price again. And it's like you get a scenario like that and everything changes.
Yeah, I think the only thing that would really push me over on that is I like veteran experience, winning experience, someone that can come in, calm that locker room, and that kind of stuff. I think makes a definite difference more than just any random experience.
Cornstalker says, thanks for the shows. Dude, thanks for being here. Like honestly, what the thing that you guys don't understand is this is what Mike and I are doing anyway and have done for 35 years. Like we're doing it anyway. So it's not like he's not going to be over my house. And the more things change, the more they stay the same. Mike, I know you know this, and a vast majority of you probably know this, but if you don't know this, we will never be on when the Habs are on because Sean's a bitch. That's it. That we're never. That's one thing. Nope. Hey, can I come over? We'll never be. Absolutely not. You can't come over and watch a game. No.
We'll never be on, and I'll never be over.
I'm sorry. You're like, I love you like a brother, dude. It's just like my family hides.
Look, like, I don't even text you.
Jack, if you're around here, they hide. They literally are the Habs on tonight. Okay, they're gone. Everybody hides. I'm a bitch. I admit it openly.
I don't text you. I don't talk to you. I wait for you to make the first text message, and then I will have a short response because I don't know what's coming after. But it just is. If they lose, I will not text you until you text me. But never during a game unless you text me. I will answer.
It is miserable. I don't care what anybody says. And just Red Wing fans, you know what it's like. It's miserable. You love it, but it's miserable. It's not an enjoyable experience. It isn't. It just, as Ray said, who's bringing the Tums? I don't enjoy it. I don't. It's almost like when they're out, Mike, I like the playoffs better. Moron.
You can enjoy it. You don't like it better, but you can actually enjoy it. You can't enjoy those games until they're over and they won.
Oh, gosh. Do you remember Hubie brought that hellfire last year? Oh, gosh.
Remember, I didn't eat it.
You were smart. Yeah, you were. Hunter and I paid. Oh, I paid dearly that night. I really did. I got a couple special things too that I showed you when you were over. That's I got a couple we got to do some beef short ribs at some point in time, and we're loading up on Durocs. It's Duroc season again. I know you got a bunch of Durocs. I picked up 5 today.
Yeah, I grabbed 10. I told you I grabbed every one that the Kroger had to the point where I don't even have to grab them anymore. So I'll let them sit with whatever they have. But I left 2 skinny ones.
Good. All right. Anything else before we get out of here?
No, we'll be talking soon.
Who was your final pick? Who was your final pick? Just to reiterate, who was your final pick? Did you vote Habs and Vegas?
Habs and Vegas. I got to stick with that. Yeah.
All right. So who wins? Don't do it to me. Don't do it to me. I'm begging you, please, for my sanity. Don't.
I mean. It would be very, very, very interesting, but that's one where I do believe the lights might get too bright, and I think the Knights might have the experience to take that one. So I would probably, as a betting man, take the Knights in that one. I'm
going to take the Avs. I think they've been the best team all year. I understand the uncertainty about their goaltending. I'm going to take the Avs. Mike, I'm overthinking things if I take somebody else, in my opinion. That doesn't mean that you're wrong, obviously, but I'm just thinking.
Absolutely. My Knights was with Hill leading the way, right? He obviously hasn't been the goaltender that it is. I mean, if they've got to go with Carter Hart, that team's in trouble. Yeah, that team is in trouble.
Maybe he channels his inner Carey Price. That's his big hero and everything. Hey, so
we'll see. We will see. I can't wait for it to get started.
Looking forward to doing it. I think we're doing it Saturday. We're waiting for the schedule to be announced tonight like everybody else, but hopefully we can do something Saturday. And then pretty much it'll be every other day in the finals, conference finals. Yeah, we hit it like almost every day as well. So, Mike, always appreciate you, and we'll see you guys Saturday. Is that cool? All right, Saturday. God bless you. Take care. Best time of the year starting.
What the Puck with Sean Baligian. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Always Pushing Forward by Elliot Middleton. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the Unsyndicated Podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Got something to say to Sean? Call the unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.